What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome back to the iherng podcast, and this episode is brought to you by the Makeover guys. For those who have just gotten your keys, either it's for investment or for own stay, do check out the Makeover guys website. It's my top choice, well, it's my only choice when it comes to home furnishing, and now they are even doing landed homes already with their latest bespoke series. But if you have absolutely no idea about renovation, it's also good to visit their experience center in M Hub Kota Damansara to at least build that basic understanding about what is plywood, what is melamine, what's the difference between strategy and things like that. Okay, link down below. And today we will answer a question from Mr. Lee. Hi Sean, first of all, thank you very much. I am 35 years old this year and I have been working in Singapore for almost 8 years. I am planning to leave Singapore and live comfortably without working in Malaysia. As you may know, working in Singapore is like leave home before sunrise and back home after sunset. Quite miserable. Feels like wasting my time, hahaha. Especially seeing my Malaysia friends hanging out during weekends and I am just here alone playing games at home make me kind of think of quitting my job. During COVID period, I have earned some capital in stock market, but I have made a mistake by putting in 80% of the profit into buying a condo in Singapore. However, the good thing about it is if I rent it out, my rental could cover the installment, maintenance fee, agent fee, and rental property tax, and still able to get about 500 Sing dollars per month. Now I am left with a few hundred K ringgit in cash. I also have emergency cash which could generate about 5,000 per month by interest. I am currently looking at EPF 1 million plan, but that would require 8 years at least to reach there. But I am still studying as I scare our government roti prata in the future. I am thinking like, should I just use the extra cash to, let's say, buy 300,000 condo in KL and pay 200,000 down payment for each condo. For each, I loan about 100,000 from the bank and use the rental to pay about 700,000 in mortgage each month. Then keep the extra into my pocket. Let's say each condo I can rent out about 1,500 minus mortgage plus maintenance fees about 300, masuk pocket 500 each month. Do you think that this can be a good plan if I am not working anymore? Very sorry for being so long-winded. Best regards, Mr. Lee. So thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Welcome back to Malaysia. And I think you are too Singaporeanized already, because here it's roti canai, bro, not roti prata. Just some context, 35 years old, planning to leave Singapore already after seeing how the Malaysian friends live in the weekends. Actually, Malaysian lifestyle is solid one. There's just so many things to do, right? However, in COVID time, Mr. Lee here earned money but put 80% of the profit into the condo, which I don't think is a very bad thing looking at the market in Singapore, right? Then it covers the installment plus maintenance fee plus agent fee plus rental property tax and still got extra 500 Sing dollar per month. Wow. And now at the same time still left with a few 100,000 ringgit and also emergency fund which can generate about 5,000 per month by interest. So let's reverse calculate that, right? So 5,000 per month is about 6,000 a year. So if it's an FD, it's about 1.2 million, right? So it's about 1.2 million plus a few 100,000. Let's assume it's 300,000, 1.5 million. With a property in Singapore, if you rent it out, you still can get about 500 Sing dollar, which is about 1,500 ringgit. So you got 1.5 million in cash, you got 1,500 in positive cash flow already. Now you're also looking at the EPF 1 million plan because they also give you about 6% interest rate lah. So actually our EPF also solid one. We are very spoiled as Malaysians. Again, so now the plan is, should he use the money to actually buy 3 biji condo, 3 condos at 300,000, then pay 200,000 down for each condo? Will it make sense lah? So let's run the math. So let's just address the property part first lah, right? 3 condos in KL. So first of all, 300,000 condo where to find? It's going to be all the Bangsapuri, it's like a middle cost apartment kind of thing. So for me, I don't think it's a good choice from two perspectives. One, those are meant for welfare, so let's just leave it alone, right? The second thing is to fully cash buy a property for investment, right? It's just a very terrible idea. I would prefer the way of using credibility to buy properties and use capital to invest in everything else. For example, like EPF lah, FD lah, whatever you like lah, right? So that's the point. Plus, you are very young. We are almost the same age. So instead of buying 3 condos at 300,000. There are so many other deals available if you have followed the channel long enough, right? So basically there's 4 channels of buying in Malaysia. Number 1 is buying new from developer, buying sub-sale from the market, buy auction, and buy via the bulk purchase. So easily for my last 4 purchases, I have bought properties from this bulk purchase group called Far Capital, where they work with developers directly and they buy properties in bulk. As a result, then they get very good deals, very good properties at very good price. But besides the deals, what I like them about is the intensity of their decision based on data. They are so data driven to an extent where before you buy, you will already know how much you will make, how much cash flow, and the probability of those happening. So my suggestion is, instead of buying 3 properties at 300,000, I would suggest maybe it's a better idea to buy one first. Try it out like 600,000 one first. If it makes sense, then you further buy the second one and the third one. And the strategy that I would recommend is to buy existing ready built ones. Means within the inventory of Far Capital, or you want to go to the secondary market, up to you lah. So if you were to buy ready built ones, the strategy is this. Once you buy and you already predicted that the renter can cover installment, the benefit you have is you have a lot of cash. But the point is to not use them. Exploit your credibility gao in this property investment game. So if you were to buy a property, let's say about 600,000 for 35 years at 4% interest rate, so you are going to pay about 16, it's about 2,007 per month. So as long as the property can cover that amount, then it's a good buy. Of course, the higher the better lah. So but that's the mere requirement. And after you kind of tasted your first one already, then you can go for the second and third and fourth and fifth to the extent that you want lah. So and that's the point. Because in your suggestion to put 200,000 for each property, right? So technically you're putting down 600,000 in cash for 3 properties, then loan 100,000 each for what? Right? So let's say you just want to have about 500 ringgit each month on cash flow. So 3 units here is about 1,500. But you put in 600,000 for a cash flow of 1,500 per month, meh? Bro. So we just take 600,000, right? We divide by 1,500. You need 400 months to break even, leh. Do you get what I mean or not? However, there are ways to reap the benefits of both sides. Means that 600,000 cash you put into FD lah. So let's just say maybe 3%, right? 3% per year, you divide by 12, you get 1,500 already. And that's for sure, guaranteed on top of your capital. So sometimes you buy property, maybe you got a bad tenant nah, then you will not have timely payments or whatsoever, right? So why risk? By default, you can already have 1,500. And this is the most conservative really. We haven't talked about blue chip stocks, we haven't talked about REITs of Singapore, we haven't even talked about crypto and whatsoever. This is just mere base, yeah? So the idea is to have this as plan A. The second plan is to then use the credibility you have, take loan to buy the property. And in Malaysia, it's so beautiful that there are properties that the rent can already cover installment. For example, all the properties that I'm buying is all doing that. The only thing is it depends on the amount of research work and it depends on the channel of buying. And you pointed out a very good thing. Like, do you think that this can be a good plan if I'm not working anymore? No. So this is the second portion of the discussion. Like, why do you want to work, bro? Like when you are 35, right? The thing is this, when you come back, yes, you will have 1.5 million in the bank with a condo in Singapore that gives you 1,500 ringgit a month. What do you want to do? Okay, like is 1.5 million a lot? Kind of lah, right? For an average Malaysian, kind of. But if you really want to deep dive into the lifestyle elements, right? It will give you a lot of security. And I would suggest it's to not stop working, but pick something that you don't mind working for free. And looking at this 1.5 million, if you wish to have some ideas to be implemented in a business model, right? Suddenly tak cukup kan? Plus, all your friends are working. Yeah lah, but sometimes when you play game at home and then you look at them go traveling or whatsoever, right? They are only traveling at when? The time when they are free, bro. You're 35. Do what, bro? I seriously don't know what to do, because, okay, coming from a person that is going to die on my desk, right? I seriously think that time is the ultimate resource, the ultimate currency of life. And the benefit of you coming back and getting a job here in Malaysia, technically, when you go to interview, right, it's serious that you are not working for the money, because maybe you're richer than the boss. So in that aspect, I would just suggest maybe a 3 months off. Just go travel with the family, chill your friends, right? Go and travel to Bali, travel to, everybody wants to travel to Japan now. Maybe just go traveling a few times, right? And that's about it, call it a day, right? Go back to work. You just sit there, do nothing, right? Wow, bro, I would argue that you should go and work also. Like, what for? Why rot at home? There's nothing to do on it. So if I'm in your position, right? So I have, again, 1.5 million in the bank with a condo in Singapore that is producing cash flow of 1,500. What should I do, right? So if I come back, I'll just give myself 3 to 5 months time, maybe 6 months, to chill a bit, play with the family until enough ready. Meanwhile, in that 6 months time, find yourself. What is that thing that you would do even if it's for free, right? Like I will edit videos for free, like I'm making videos for free now, and that opened up a whole journey of fulfillment for me. This is legit a dream for a lot of working class people. I will argue that life is only stressful if you are doing things that you don't like to do. Since you have the freedom, financial freedom to do whatever you want already, right? Pursue this, because I believe, right, for anybody who wants to retire, you will need good friends, you will need good company, good partners. But deep down, I believe everybody should have a good hobby. When you are so passionate about something, for example, tea ke, Pokemon ke, game ke, whatever lah, you can start doing Twitch if you want to. Between FD and property investment, right? I will argue if you put full cash, I would always prioritize non-property investment. Why? Because flexibility is on your side. You are not working and suddenly, right, you're 35. So we are at the age where a lot of family emergency can happen already. Our parents are not that young anymore, and there are a lot of things that we need to consider. Also, I'm not too sure whether you have a partner or not, or you're going to form a family or not. Like based on the rental income that I'm collecting right now, it's almost perfectly fine that I can chill longer than I want. But when you have a family, you need to be a role model for the family. You need to demonstrate that hard working is cool. But I do understand the greed that you just went through for 8 years lah. So I used to live in JB and I travel there almost every weekend, right? Friday go in, come out, Saturday go in, come out, Sunday go in, come out, and Monday I go back to office, right, just to sell stuff, and it's terrible. I absolutely understand how dreadful it can be. So take a chill, right? No judgment there. But to immediately retire, bro. So until you sort out your next step in life, I will not suggest that you buy any property. And even if you buy property, go beyond the range of 300,000. I don't know what are you looking at, right? What kind of listing that you have discovered online that 300,000 properties is available. If yes, it's also those rumah whip or welfare housing, and I would suggest not to play around with them. If you want extremely good deals, may I suggest to join the Far Capital group, right? The link is also down below where you can discover deals. So there are some that is meant for cash flow, some that are meant for higher cashbacks, some is just for pure maximize equity, right? Maximize all the residential slots that Malaysians have. All different strategies. So from there you can learn throughout that 3 to 6 months time of break that you give yourself. And if you decide not to work, you just want to chill, since every month you got 3 to 4,000, right? Then you haven't even think about what to do with 1.5 million. And if that 1.5 million can give you about 5 to 6,000, then very good. And the thing is, your future is also kind of secured with your property in Singapore. So that is almost foolproof, means that it's definitely going to work out with the Singapore domestic market and things like that. I'm not too sure how the tariff is going to affect Singapore, but it's going to affect hard. But we are talking about housing in Singapore, so I think it's going to be pretty stable. So think about what to do with the 1.5 million that you have. If it's just safest, how much you can get. If you want to go extreme risk, what's going to get. And what a position to be in, right? So this just justifies the years of sacrifice that you have to go through. But one wild idea though, okay, just hear me out, right? While you are still having a job in Singapore, why not, right? I will seriously just encourage you to go and check out the deals mentioned just now and get them using employment that you have first, right? Get them first, then until the deals are sorted out already, S&P signed already, and you're just waiting for the keys, right? Then only you quit. And once you get that, the cash flow there is going to be pretty significant, definitely better than what you are proposing here. And that will be the main difference between you and me, also the other audiences lah. So the different buying channels, right? We gotta really explore them throughout. Because the reality of Malaysia market is it's not transparent. Means if you were to get my SPA, on the SPA, the stated amount is not the true amount. That's a weird thing, but that is also a very beautiful thing where it leaves a lot of opportunity for us who knows and understand the game. So that puts us ahead of other people, and that's how investors make money. And looking into your email deeper, since you are so good in your stock market, right, to an extent, your capital allows you to buy a property in Singapore, why don't just stick with that? Why the need to diversify out into property investment? And only property investment allows you to not use the capital. Means if you can still day trade, or I don't know what you do lah, right? But if you can still stick to your game that has worked, proven to work, and you are so familiar with it, that's your full-time job, declare that as income, right? You can still get credit and buy. Or if you follow the way just now to buy before you quit your job, then now you stick to stock investment, you live your life, then collect rent from the property. I would suggest that would be the best way forward. And I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, for sharing your story. Wow, after this, I don't know whether a lot of people will want to consider working in Singapore or not. But we haven't really seen the true effect of tariffs yet. Once again, thank you very much for writing in. That would be the suggestion. Stick to what you're good at. Use credit to buy properties, not use capital. It would be so foolish to do so, especially when you declare rental income later. Okay, so when you declare rental income, loan interest is actually part of the thing that you can write off. It's part of cost to write off the income. So why put up so much cash upfront so you pay less interest when in the first place, right? You can actually write it off. And I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. For those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng. For those who have not followed me, please follow, support a bit, right? And I see you guys on the next one. Ciao.